Year 2020, for better and for worse, is almost coming to an end, and although many can argue that this year in anime may seem lighter in content than in previous years, I'm here to spotlight and discuss the top 10 anime that you may have missed in 2020 that you need to go watch right now. Number 10. Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. Our main protagonist Dai lives on a remote island dreaming of becoming a great hero. When he hears about the demon revival, Dai and his friends take it upon themselves to stop him and the evil forces that revive the demon. Okay, if you like Saturday morning cartoons and old school Dragon Ball and... Wait, what the f***? Did he just go Ultra Instincts? Okay, Dragon Ball Super. Then this show is for you. I should say it's from the creative mind of Akira Toriyama, but you should have already guessed that by the way it looks. It's also based on the popular Dragon Quest series, so if you're a fan of the series, then you'll know what to expect. But if you never played those games before, like myself, cue up the adventure music and get ready to see a fun tale about a kid living out the hero's journey to become the very best like no one ever was. Number 9. Gleipnir. Having an unnatural sense of smell, Shuichi Kaguya can transform into a raccoon dog beast. Oh, okay. Hear me out. Gleipnir is an edgy death game anime with plenty of gratuitous violence, sexual themes thrown in every 5 minutes, and the check marks of a wimpy protagonist who, by the end of the series, gains a pair of nuts to protect the world from devastation, from imminent danger, and well, let's be real, they also have sex with Claire, but can you blame him? Kaguya tries his best to live an ordinary, safe, and boring life while one day rescuing Claire from a burnt down house, transforming into a beast. We don't know how he's got his powers, but encounters an alien that informs him on finding mysterious coins scattered around the city that will grant anyone any wish they desire. If you collect all 100 coins, you'll become a game master, some shit like that. Now you can see where the death game scenario kicks in. The animation looks good, the choreography in some of these battles are even better. It might be a mixed bag for people, but give it a few episodes and you'll find out if it's worth checking out. Number 8. Burn the Witch. Burn the Witch follows two heroines named Ninny Sprankle and Noelle Nihashi as they protect London from powerful dragons that wander the city. From the creative mind of Tite Kubo, famously known for his work on Bleach, expect Burn the Witch to also have imaginative designs and cool character transformations. I'm also a huge simp for both of these ladies. It also has plenty of life breathing into the world and the people inhabiting it, which is something Bleach severely lacked if you ask me. With only 3 episodes, Burn the Witch is the easiest binge on this list and something you definitely need to check out. Number 7. Keep your hands off Eizouken. Midori Asakusa sees the world a bit differently. Always having her nose in a sketchbook, Asakusa draws detailed landscapes and backgrounds of both the world around her and the one within her boundless imagination. Joined by Sayaka Kanamori, a hustler trying to make that money, and charismatic fashion model Sumbabe Mizusaki, who really wants to be an animator, the trio joins forces to make an animation club in their high school while they try to recreate the world that exists in their mind. In short, Eizouken blew me away, but I guess that's to be expected when you have the brilliant mind of Masaki Yuasa directing it. The simple act of doodling embarks the audience on a wild imaginative ride which leaves you wanting more. I felt like a kid watching this from start to finish, recalling what it felt like to have the world as your oyster and if you truly believe in yourself. If you're a kid at heart, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken will remind you that any wild ambition you have can be possible with hard work, passion, and a vision behind it. Number 6. Somali and the Forest Spirit. The world is ruled by a diversity of inhumane beings who persecuted humans and drove them to near extinction. One day, the Forest Guardian Golem meets a human girl. This is a chronicle of a journey that would bind a member of the dying human clan to the Forest Guardian Golem as father and daughter. This animation reminds me of something straight out of a Ghibli film. Somali and the Forest Spirit is such a wholesome anime, and I'm so sorry for showing you this trailer because even rewatching it makes me want to bawl my eyes out. The relationship between Somali and the Golem journeying together while strengthening their bonds is really beautiful. If you're looking for something innocent and, well, quite frankly, something to release those emotional heartstrings on, you have to watch Somali and the Forest Spirit. Number 5. Rent a Girlfriend. After a staggering betrayal by his girlfriend, hopelessly pathetic romantic Kazuya, a college freshman, one day becomes desperate enough to download the Rent-A-Girlfriend app, an app that lets you guessed it, rent a girlfriend. His rental girlfriend Chizuru Mizuhara has both beauty and brain that quickly wins Kazuya over, realizing that the rental girlfriend standing in front of him might be the true woman of his dreams. So, I'll be the first to admit that this isn't a show I went out of my way for, but when I stumbled upon the pilot episode, I immediately became hooked with its charm and simple premise. Maybe it's because I've been a hopeless romantic that I can also relate.
あなたも何か俺いつもこんなだから
Well, maybe not that much. Surprisingly, Rent-A-Girlfriend had some of the most raunchy humor I've seen in anime this year. I've lost count at how many times I laughed out loud at some of the scenes shown on screen here, and by the end of its run, you better believe I was making a pros and cons list on which girl is best for your boy Kazuya. Spoilers, it's Mizuhara, and if anyone says otherwise, come at me, bro. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. I loved watching Rent-A-Girlfriend, and you need to check this one out.
相手するから
Number 4, Great Pretender. Our main protagonist, Makoto Edamura, supposedly the biggest con artist in all of Japan, encounters another world-class con artist while they join forces to con the most corrupt and scummiest people around the globe. It's a crime comedy anime at its finest. Think Catch Me If You Can, sprinkling in that Wolf of Wall Street, but Leonardo DiCaprio sadly isn't in it. I'm not leaving! Out of all the anime on this list, The Great Pretender by far has the best soundtrack that caters to its genre. The jazz heard throughout the show is wild and chaotic. In one scene, the jazz will ramp up and intensify, while Makoto and his comrades scrape by a life or death escape, while in the next, play to its soothing, soft, and somber tone during the quiet and emotional scenes on screen. Arguably a contender for Anime of the Year, you need to watch The Great Pretender. Number 3, Deca-Dence. Many years have passed since humanity was driven to the brink of extinction by the sudden emergence of the unknown lifeforms Gadol. The remaining survivors now reside in a massive 3,000 feet mobile fortress known as the Deca-Dence to protect themselves from the Gadol threat. This high-octane, action-packed anime reminded me of Attack on Titans with steampunk elements thrown in there, and that's just scratching the surface. The soundtrack is also some of the best music I've heard in anime this year, period. If somehow you avoided watching Deca-Dence this entire year, do me a favor and do not look past the description I just gave you. The huge twist this show offers you is arguably the biggest shock I've experienced in anime this year. Seriously, there's no way you would see it coming, for better and for worse, but if you accept it, expect to immerse yourself in a show taking an ambitious risk, filled in with plenty of stylized action and heart. Number 2, High Score Girl Season 2. If you're a fan of coin-op gaming or gaming in general, High Score Girl is the 90s inspired arcade romantic comedy for you. The animation style is pretty dope, and if you're a fan of some of the classic coin-op fighting games like Street Fighter and Virtua Fighter, you'll want to check this one out. I'm really biased towards this show because I adore fighting games, the history of the 90s arcade scene boom, and the wink and nod they throw at gamers who grew up during that era. Noguchi and Ono are brought together by their love of fighting games, sparking out rivalry and eventually something more. If you like everything I just said, check this one out. One last thing, I dare you to try to keep your composure watching that final episode, because you won't. It was so beautiful! Number 1, Dorohedoro. This story revolves around Kaiman, who does not remember who he was before he was transfigured by a magic user. This transformation left him with a reptile's head and a desire to find out the truth about who he really is. At its core, it's a mystery story, but everything else around it will be some of the most bizarre things you'll encounter in any anime. From its character models, dark grotesque humor, and the random thrown at you. Is that a cockroach playing baseball wearing Jordans? Shocking! Told ya. My favorite thing about this show is how there are no intrinsically evil characters. Besides Kaiman, everyone else is left up in the air for you to decide on which stance you place them on in the moral compass scale. One last thing, the author does an outstanding job of not holding your hand throughout the story, which is a huge plus for me. And although the 2D, 3D animation might turn some people off, you'll know by episode 5 or 6 if this show is for you. Give it a shot. My name is DJ Miles, And as I always say, to be continued, take care.